read that who has a sister. Thank you, Erica. That's lovely. And that's a difficult scripture, like I said just a minute ago, because it's a little argument going on there. Martha's mad because Mary isn't helping her get the house ready for Jesus. And you can just hear sisters kind of quarreling about that. Jesus is telling Mary, or Martha, that Mary's the one doing the right thing by sitting and listening. And in today's world, that scripture is hard for most of us to take because we live in a society that glorifies busyness, glorifies getting things done. People are proud of how busy they are, and we love to say how busy we are. Even in retirement, I hear people say, I'm busier now than when I worked. So what Jesus is saying here can rile us up a little, right? Really, Jesus, you got a problem with what we're doing here? But as I suggested a few minutes ago, what Jesus is actually saying isn't that we shouldn't glorify busyness. He's saying that we should stop first. He says we should not glorify busyness at the expense of filling our souls first off with peace. He's suggesting that Martha needs to let go of being overwhelmed. That's actually what he's scolding her for, is being overwhelmed by her life. And just stop and breathe and listen and then work. I read a great commentary of this particular scripture this week, and it suggests this interpretation. We love and learn to love better by listening. This story nowhere tells us to stop working or only to meditate all the time, not one or the other, or to disengage from our duties that we have toward one another. It tells us not to let ourselves become overwhelmed. It tells us instead to focus on what matters most. And to do that, first, we must listen to God, neighbor, and guest, all whom we serve and with whom we seek to serve. This is a great commentary of this passage. Hear your neighbor. Stop and really listen to your neighbor. Stop being so overwhelmed with what you think life offers. Just listen for a while. Listen for a while and focus on what's important from what you hear. We create in our own minds and our own lives and focus on so many distractions that we often miss the most important things of all. The most important things of all, as we've been talking about for the last few weeks, are putting more love and happiness in the world. In Shakespeare's play, All's Well That Ends Well, which is another one that's often criticized for not being great, just like the one last week we talked about, there's these characters that are focused on the trappings of life rather than what matters. You have Helena, who's set on marrying Bertram, even though he doesn't want to marry her. And all the typical Shakespeare antics ensue. There's tricks and lies and deception. So Helena can win her husband. But what kind of life is that? Deception by trickery? One-sided affection? A whole host of people trying to get what they want through unscrupulous means. And they're distracted by what they want rather than what might be best. And that's a feeling that most of us can identify with. Because everybody here can tell me they know this. Life doesn't always give us what we want. The world throws curveballs at us all the time. And we get overwhelmed by those curves of life. There's so much around us to overwhelm us. I mean, really, almost every week I could rewrite this sermon based on the latest world crisis, the latest wave of violence and madness that distracts us from peacemaking and goodness. And this week, of course, it happened again. We have another week of violence, and again, we're overwhelmed with trauma. The world is just too much to take. Just too much. Black men being killed much too often by police. Armed and dangerous citizens who can take out in short order even the finest police officers in Dallas. Our grief at the madness of this world distracts from peace and goodness every minute, and it's overwhelming. And so, we decide to stay busy and do stuff. Maybe even good stuff. Like Helena longing for this marriage to Bertram, or Martha tending to the household. The goal may be worthy, but is it a distraction from the greater good? Some busy stuff we might do. We might forward articles to our friends about gun violence or police brutality or violence going amok. We might write our senators and congressmen about gun control. We might send our condolences to the police or to the families of those men shot by the police. All good stuff. But we need to be careful that we're doing them not to keep ourselves busy and distracted, like Martha, hoping that if we just work hard enough, we will somehow erase the overwhelm. Remember what Jesus' message here is. First, stop and listen, and then work. And even so, we know it's downright impossible to guarantee the good ending, the good outcome. And life is so very unpredictable. We can make choices or pass laws that seem as if they would help. But we best realize that we can't create a certain outcome. We can't always create a perfect solution or fix or miracle for broken relationships. We can't wave a magic wand and have assault weapons disappear or racism disappear or hateful rhetoric disappear. We can't snap our fingers and have goodness and mercy and peace and goodwill rain down on us in abundant supply. We can't control what happens in this thing we call life in this global community any more than Martha can create the perfect home by just running around in circles. Life is hard. And Jesus is saying sometimes it's best to stop and listen to him for a while. We hear and use that phrase, the title of this play, All's Well that Ends Well. But it's not always the case, is it? It's not always the case when we say it. Sometimes anything doesn't end all that well. Another phrase came to mind as I was thinking about this phrase this week, and it's the phrase we use a lot today, it's all good. You guys use that one? It's all good. Often it means things didn't really go our way, but we'll deal with it. It's all good, we say. I think it's a line Jesus might use in the scripture, actually. Chill out, Martha, it's all good. Or maybe Martha, overwhelmed at what's going on, might say, I've got it, Jesus, it's all good. Mary didn't help me, but it's all good. And actually it doesn't feel that good at all, does it? And the world doesn't feel so good right now either. Maybe in All's Well that Ends Well, only Helena is able to trick her way into a happy ending. But it comes at a price. Our world is filled with things that don't make us feel that all's well. But maybe it's possible to make it well. Not through tricks and deceptions, like Helena does in this play, but through following the advice of Jesus to Martha. Stop feeling overwhelmed. Listen to Jesus. Listen to one another. If we want to love ourselves and our neighbors and our guests, anyone really, we need to listen first. That's the message of Jesus here. Like, really listen. Don't do anything else but listen. What is our neighbor telling us? We must listen. What is the Black community telling us about their pain? We must listen. What is the world telling us about its pain? We must listen. We have to figure out a way to turn off the voices in our heads that are telling us we should do this or do that because it looks good or feels good or is good. We have to dig deep and listen for what Jesus says as we choose instead to sit at his feet. What is Jesus telling us we should do to heal ourselves? What is Jesus telling us we should do to heal the world? Listen more? Judge less? Love more? Reach out more? Pay attention more? All's well that ends well. It's all good. There is a way that we can try to make them more than just pithy phrases we use. In this play, I said I wasn't going to tell you the endings, but I will. Helen does get virgin for her husband. Now, in the scripture, we don't know the ending of this story. This story stops right there where Erica read, and it goes on to chapter 11. So we don't know what Martha does next. Does she sit down and listen, or does she keep chopping the vegetables and sweeping the floor? I don't know. What would you do next? You know what Jesus does next? In chapter 11, he prays. He teaches the disciples the words of the Lord's Prayer. It's the very next thing that happens. Always modeling the best way, the way of peace. If only we could stop and listen. Find Jesus and listen. I thought Jessie Green gave some really good advice on how to do this. She posted this on her Facebook page last night, and I asked her if I could share it for the end of the sermon. Good advice from the next generation, and thank God we have the next generation who will save us from ourselves. Maybe there is hope after all. From the next generation, Jessie says, my heart aches with all this hatred I'm seeing in all directions. We're all of one earth. Go outside, breathe in the air, experience life, and ground yourselves. Remember that we're all connected and loved. Amen.